The Eneti people appear in ancient tradition as a mysterious population living in northern Anatolia during the time of the Trojan War. Their name is preserved in early Greek epic poetry, where they are described as inhabitants of Paphlagonia, a region along the southern coast of the Black Sea. The Eneti are listed among the allies of Troy and are said to have fought under the leadership of King Pylaemenes. Their presence shows that the Trojan War was imagined not only as a conflict between Greeks and Trojans, but as a wider struggle involving many Anatolian peoples. The homeland of the Eneti lay along the rugged Black Sea coast, a region of forests, mountains, and river valleys. Ancient descriptions place them near the basin of the Halys River, the great river of northern Anatolia that flows into the Black Sea. This landscape was well suited to animal breeding and seasonal migration, and the Eneti were associated with horse and mule breeding. Early tradition describes the people of Pylaemenes as famous for their strong and hardy animals, especially their wild mules. This detail suggests a society closely connected with the mountainous environment and dependent on livestock as well as agriculture. During the Trojan War, the Eneti joined the defence of Troy under the command of Pylaemenes. They travelled from the Black Sea region to the plains around Troy and fought alongside the Trojan army against the Achaean invaders. The Eneti warriors were imagined as Bronze Age fighters, equipped with spears, shields, and bronze weapons. Their participation in the war demonstrates the wide network of alliances that supported Troy. The presence of distant allies, such as the Eneti, indicates that the conflict described in epic tradition extended across much of Anatolia. The origins of the Eneti have been debated since antiquity. Some ancient writers believe that the Eneti later migrated westward after the fall of Troy. According to these traditions, a group of Eneti settlers travelled across the sea and eventually reached the northern shores of the Adriatic. There, they became known as the Veneti, a people who lived in what is now northern Italy. Because of the similarity between the names Eneti and Veneti, ancient authors often connected the two groups. Modern historians, however, remain uncertain whether this migration actually occurred. Ancient geographers such as Strabo described the Eneti as inhabitants of Paphlagonia and included them among the tribal peoples of northern Anatolia. The region was not organised as a single centralised kingdom, but consisted of independent communities and local leaders. Kings such as Pylaemenes may have served as war leaders, who united these groups during times of conflict. In peaceful periods, the Eneti probably lived in smaller settlements, scattered through the river valleys and mountain regions of the Black Sea coast. The language of the Eneti is unknown. They probably spoke one of the ancient languages of Anatolia, possibly related to the Luwian or Hittite languages that were spoken in neighbouring regions during the late Bronze Age. Because no written records from the Eneti themselves have survived, their culture can only be reconstructed indirectly through archaeology and later literary traditions. This lack of direct evidence has made the Eneti one of the most obscure peoples of the ancient Anatolian world. Archaeological discoveries in northern Anatolia provide some clues about the kind of society in which the Eneti may have lived. Late Bronze Age settlements in the region include small fortified sites, rural villages, and agricultural communities. These communities produced bronze tools and weapons and maintained connections with other parts of Anatolia. Although none of these sites can be identified with certainty as Eneti settlements, they probably reflect the general cultural environment in which the Eneti lived. The Eneti also became part of later historical and legendary traditions in Europe. Medieval writers often try to trace the origins of European peoples back to the Trojan War. In some of these accounts, the Eneti were said to have migrated westward and founded new communities after the destruction of Troy. The supposed connection between the Eneti and the Veneti of northern Italy remained influential for centuries, even though modern scholarship treats it with caution. The Eneti occupied a frontier region of the Trojan world. They were neither Trojans nor Greeks, but an independent Anatolian people who became involved in the war through alliances and shared interests. Their participation illustrates the broader political landscape of the Late Bronze Age, in which many regional groups could be drawn into large conflicts through networks of loyalty and obligation